Hi guys, today we are talking to one of the finest interview panelists you can get, and I pray to God कि सर आपके सामने ना बैठे हो, because अगर सर सामने आ गए तो बड़े प्यार से आपकी लगाई जाएगी, बजाई जाएगी, because he is a kind of person who go into the details, and the devil is in the details when they start asking the details. So sir, I'll ask you a few questions from the interview point of view. So number one question is, the moment student enter the room, how, is it finalized, like the first impression, last impression? Is it true?
Not always, but you generally get a trend of you get a gist of what to kind of expect in the way the person presents themselves. Yeah.
Correct. So it is kind of important to.
It's important, absolutely important. Yeah.
And grooming and everything, is beard okay? First question.
Well, times are changing. Yeah, and we're not selecting people for
Correct.
NDA. So I guess with changing times, it is acceptable as long as it is properly groomed.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes. Uneven will not be allowed.
Yes.
So like I went to the salon yesterday to get myself trimmed. Yeah. So this is okay. Kind of. If you are trimmed, then I think.
Yes, absolutely fine. I mean, it's a choice that you exercise. Yeah.
Correct. So, sir, there's one question I always have, one doubt I always had, that are you selecting students on what you need in your campus, or are you selecting students on based on what he is? I'll get him question. That's
So there are two things. Number one, it's very important, particularly in today's day and age, with so much of AI and a whole lot of other things happening. People should be trainable in a sense that people should have the ability to think, to comprehend, and to come with analytically ground solutions. As a quality, they also have to be dependable. And these are the qualities that will really make them good, successful professionals.
Correct.
So, in times when people have shorter time spans in terms of paying attention and things like that, we also need to make sure that these are students who have the drive, who have the potential, and who would like to pick up things. And many times it is reflected from what they have studied. I'm not saying the school that they studied, but the way they have contributed in terms of their own levels of increasing knowledge. Because students at our institute come from tier 2, tier 3 cities. But one thing that you can easily make out is if they have read, and if there is this thirst for knowledge, and if that curiosity is there, they are the people who really will do good for themselves as well as for the institute in terms of getting better placements and better opportunities.
So curiosity is the word I was looking for.
Yes.
Sir, everyone I'm talked to, they always say the students have to be curious, ability to learn. How will you test my learning? So, or I want your answer for that, so that I can tell my student that if you can, not fake, but if you can work on this aspect, so they have a better chance to get converted or better chance to come across.
See, today it is not only even in schools, it's not only the test of knowledge, but it is an all-round kind of development. And a lot of people talk about holistic development and things like that. And I think a student should really know what is happening around. Because we are no longer in that narrow confines of just the country. We are looking at a global landscape. We are looking at, the whole world is looking at the Russia and the Ukraine conflict, the Israel and Palestine, and the effects that is going to happen because of that. Supply chains are getting affected. The chip cost is going up. There are just so many things that are in terms of disruptions. And we are going to actually see a lot of disruptions happening from time to time. And how are these students going to be resilient? How are they going to kind of bounce back from setbacks? How are they increasing their competency levels? And that is really important.
So if I participate in inter-college events, if student participates, or if you have take a few certificates in marketing finance, so that kind of will that give him a kind of advantage?
Absolutely. See, the point is, if you just gone, attended classes and got your marks, and even if it is 90%, but you do not, you haven't really had the opportunity to go and mix with students of other colleges, the ability to network, the ability to compete, because that is what really increases the inner strength for them to compete in a hyper competitive world, if I may say.
Correct. So, like you said, the time span will become very small. Time span.
I would just like to add one more point. See, whether the moment you take management, you would largely do one of the four things, which we also offer, which is marketing, finance, HR, and analytics. One important thing is, sometimes people think it's only marketing where they're going to go and meet up with the potential customers, whether it is B2B or B2C. Every role today is customer facing. You have to have the ability to pitch, to put your point across, to kind of make a presentation, and there are people listening. And it has to be very compelling arguments and presentations that you need to do to get the other person to also understand what you're going to offer. And as a word I said earlier, even to pick the other person's curiosity as to what is what is different from what you are offering.
Correct.
Yeah, that is.
And then more easy to judge him as well. If he's
Absolutely.
faking out, you can catch him.
Oh, I mean, see, after so many years, it doesn't take long for us to figure out if somebody is, just spinning a yarn. You better not get caught. It has to be very convincing.
Correct.
And you can be only convincing if you know the facts. And the facts are
true.
Yeah.
True. So, do you like to share any example, any funny incident happened? Like today happened with me a couple of days ago. A student told me that he has given 200 marks. And I stopped the video immediately. Jada phank diya beta, itni mat phanko. So, any kind of any funny incident happened with you last few years?
Well, it's just that, while I have a basic degree in chemistry honors from Ferguson College in Pune, I love history. And there was somebody who came with a master's in history. Yeah. And I asked him, what do you like? Is it Indian history? Is it European history? Or is it world history? So he said, no, I'm very comfortable in Indian history. But the only thing is, the guy didn't know that I love history and I know history quite a bit. So I started from the first battle of Panipat and I could see him sweating because he didn't get the years right. So, so if you are good in some place, you better be sure you know your facts because you don't know whom you are meeting. Yeah.
Correct. This is very important.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you know that, let's take that example. If you know that guy is faking out, is he immediately rejected or you still give him some brownie point ki chalo banda acha hai, aage jaake kar lega?
So the point is, obviously you don't try to put him on a mat. You tell him that is factually incorrect and try and give him one more opportunity. Okay, and take him to places which he probably he has a better knowledge about. Because I think everybody needs to be given a fair chance.
Correct. So my last question will be around, some people are very demotivated, students are very demotivated because they don't have work experience or they have taken a 1 or 2 year gap or academic record is low. So two things here. How much important do you think these are from the student point of view? Give us some motivation facts so that we feel comfortable. कि भाई जो हो गया. Once at the interview table, everything is okay now. If there would have been a problem, you won't be here. So any kind of a tip, any kind of advice?
See, the point is, whenever I interview people either here or in corporate when I was there earlier, it was not particularly that the person with the best marks gets the job.
Correct.
Because marks are important, okay? But a whole lot of other things. I mean, if it's a marketing job, you need to be going out into the market. You need to be the outgoing type. You should be comfortable, going out and meeting customers. Many people today, even students who are finished, when I ask them about marketing, they want to do marketing, but they don't want to do sales. but that is not the way it is. Many years ago, I started with Marico. I would do, I'd go to a town and I'm expected to do 80 shops. And that was, of course, many, many years ago. I'm from a different generation. And Uber and Ola was not there. So you would go by the red colored ST buses.
Correct.
But until you go down to different cities, okay, like my first state was Andhra Pradesh. So I start with Hyderabad, go to Vijayawada, go to Sirpur, Kagaznagar, go to Mancherial, go to Ramgundam. These are names I remember from my sales trip, Once you go to these places, that's where India is. And when you come back to head office, you really know what you need to do in product planning, how to kind of offer it to the customer. You're sitting with probably the advertising agency. You know what will work in which markets. And I'm just talking about Andhra Pradesh, the undivided Andhra Pradesh of that time. So you have to be there. So some of these qualities, need to be there in terms of hiring. And whether it is finance or HR or analytics, you need to know what the current trends are. You need to know what is really happening. You need to know the hiring trends, and what is currently happening in the marketplace, because the markets are dynamic. Yeah. And today, a lot of recruitment and talent acquisition is all getting replaced by AI tools. But what is the other things that are still there? Because we keep hearing just so many conferences about AI is going to take away jobs, AI is going to take away jobs. But hello, it is going to create, a
Correct.
whole lot of other jobs.
Jobs.
And in the past, a typical 2-year MBA program would navigate a manager for the next 15 to 20 years of his life. In today's scenario, by the time the student finishes his 2 years, many of what he was probably
Learned.
reading and what he has learned might become irrelevant.
Correct.
He has to build on that. Okay.
Correct.
So that's where
The only thing we learn is change. The things are going to change,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah, the only change is,
Correct.
the only constant is change. Yeah.
Correct. So my last question,
Yes.
you might be feeling that if you're interviewing 20 students back to back, you might get bored after some time because same repetition, and you can see when they're faking out. You can't say it at times also. So what I normally say to students in the introduction only, if you are into palmistry or fortune telling or cartoonist or maybe a dietitian, so it's always good to add into the introduction, because if you ask him about cartoonist or draw my cartoon this and that, I think that's where the ice breaking session, and students feel more comfortable as well. So do you recommend students should add this some kind of a irregular thing into the introduction?
To me, I would think yes. And I'll tell you why. See, everybody will come and say where they studied, what they did,
Correct,
the 10th
correct.
standard, 12th standard, and whatever. But I think each person has a story. Okay. And each person is unique. There will be some interest, some hobby, something that you have done, some experience that you would like to share. And this has shaped the person, from over a period of time. And this is him. He is a product by himself. And each person is unique. So you can't have, and sometimes when people come up with some fixed answers, you know that this guy has, mugged it all up and just kind of, just ratifying it and just saying it out. But I think each person is unique, and that needs to come out. And everybody has a different hobby. Okay. And the moment you say that, and you talk about what you have done over a period of time, you can see the passion in what he has to say.
Yes.
And I think that is the
Correct.
unique thing about, saying something beyond that. See, even today, organizations, when they are hiring, very recently, we had some people from Dell. Among other things, after the usual introductions and all that, they want to know, more about the individual, what is unique, how there will be a cultural fit with their organization, what are the things that drive them. So I think I'm not saying a USP, but there has to be something unique about each person. And if you're able to carry it in terms of an introduction, I think that is what makes the difference.
Correct. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.